So this week has been a pretty crazy week, to be honest. It's been a culmination of everything that I've been sort of preparing for over the last 4 to 6 weeks. What I didn't really anticipate, there's always some curveballs, was on Tuesday we had two new staff members on site at one of our client sites, a very large client site. And first on Tuesday morning, we had the client on phone to one of my employees, first of all shouting by the way these guys were behaving, and next thing they were in tears from frustration, which obviously is not acceptable. We actually had three people on site building out their school playgrounds. And sort of a long story short, it resulted in one of them walking off site and getting the train back to Manchester, and they were down in East London. And the other two, I asked that they come back to our office, a head office in Leicester, with immediate effect. They didn't actually arrive till 4 o'clock, even though we had this conversation with them, or I had this conversation with them around 10:30. Certainly doesn't take 6 hours to get from East London to Leicester. What they actually thought they would do in their great wisdom was to take this their mate who was going back to Manchester on train into central London to Tower Hill to drop them off at the tube station, all at our expense, of course. So yeah, it was a very chaotic day. But when those two got back to back to office, one of them was instantly let go. The other one was a bit of an in-between situation, really. He was fuming at the situation because he had just started, and he has a young family, very much wanted the opportunity, saw that was sort of a good environment to work in, and so we've given him a chance, and he's gone under the wing of our one of our project managers to help really see whether we can build him up and work with him, really. The following day, so the very next day, one of our long-standing team members who has been with the business for 11 years, he was being made redundant, and that conversation and process was already well underway. We were actually finalising agreements, and really Wednesday was about announcing it to the team, which is very sad. He's a wonderful man, wonderful guy. Really, I believe, was critical to the business in the early days. The business would not have got to where it was without him. However, it was also clear that where we're going as a business and the changing of mindsets, it was just a journey that he wasn't really sort of open to going on and didn't really want to go on. So that has been very sad. That was on Wednesday, and then on Friday, which was yesterday, Saturday morning today, I went through a complete company restructure, which is really something that's been on the cards for quite a while now, and something I've been wanting to do. However, the team are always hearing me talk about sequence and doing the right things in the right times. And I just felt that doing a complete company restructure while this long-standing employee was still being, still finalising details there, it was just a little bit disrespectful. So I wanted to get the situation with the long-standing employee sort of underway, like confirmed, out as common knowledge, and then immediately roll out the restructure, which was largely met with open arms by a lot of them. There was one team member in particular who's also a long-standing sort of employee, a really great guy personally. He, I think, struggled with the concept. Time will tell, but it's all part of this journey. When you are going into a business, particularly a small business, where you're dealing with small teams, so anywhere between 5 to 10 people, it's a delicate balance. I often say, if you go into a small business with 10 people, which is a lot it's a lot of people for a small business. If 2 people leave, that's 20% of your workforce. how do you manage that? It's a very difficult and delicate situation, and so it does have to be handled with tact, with fairness, but also with firmness as well. There has to be absolute clarity in boundaries and structures, and most importantly, there has to be trust. I've been wanting to do this restructure for really since I first came into the business. I acquired Playground Projects 6 months ago, and it was immediate that this change is immediate to me that these changes had to be made. But yeah, there was that trust piece. The team had to trust me first, and I think as a team we had to go through several scenarios and situations that just occurred naturally, but where they could see that actually, yes, I really do genuinely have the business's best interests and their best interests at heart. Like, this is about the collective, not about any one individual, myself included. So yeah, we sort of 6 months in, I really felt that we were at that place where that trust had been built, and they knew that I wasn't some stranger coming in trying to mess things up, but actually I do genuinely have the best interests. So yeah, it's been a culmination of events this week. Very, very dramatic, very long days, if I'm honest. Tuesday, when it all kicked off, that was a 19-hour day for me personally. And I think every other day since has at least been a 13, 14-hour day. They are exceptions. Don't get me wrong, I love to work. I'm a hard worker, but I have a young family. I've got a 3-year-old at home. I'm currently doing the kitchen chores while Vicky's taking Evie to soft play. That's important to me as well. It's not all work. So yeah, it's about striking this balance. But if you are looking at acquisitions, and specifically if you're looking at acquiring businesses where there is some work, just be aware of the realities of it, and particularly if you're coming from large corporate settings. I know and have worked with a number of very experienced, very seasoned professionals who have worked and turned around businesses at much larger scales. But small businesses, it's a different language, it's a different world entirely, and you have to be very tactful in your approach to that. So wishing you a great weekend. I'm looking forward to a bit of downtime, a bit of family time, and I'll see you in the next video.